Turks, man.
Turks.
Back at it, man, with another banger ring. We got Hoop Venue, another basketball video, man. We got what a championship team looks like, man.
Let's see.
Just a week ago, the Thunder entered the fourth quarter of their game against the Heat down 93-83. Not even 6 minutes later, the Heat still had 93, and the Thunder now had 107, a 24-0 run. This is the exact type of response to adversity
NBA runs are
championship
different,
caliber teams to exhibit. The ability to just flip a switch and take over a game like it's nothing. But what factors led to such a remarkable run? To understand how the Thunder did it, we first have to look at what got them into the situation in the first place. There was no Chet Holmgren in this one, and without a true second rim protector, that left OKC's defense pretty vulnerable, especially in the paint. Miami's been running a too-big setup for a few weeks now, and Khalil wears a floor spacer. So anytime Hartenstein was matched up with him, they didn't really have anyone to hold down the paint. Look at the difference when Ihart's instead on Bam. He's able to roam the floor like a free safety and protect the basket, making it a lot more difficult to create that pressure. But when he was matched up with Bam, Miami just simply switched their offensive approach. They'd isolate Bam on an island, knowing he's got a big-time speed advantage. This especially stood out when OKC went to a zone defense. Bam just set up in the middle of the floor, forcing Ihart to pick up the ball, and went to work in isolation.
Move like Bam at a bio, bro. What the freak?
Of this game.
Well, you could have averaged an even 20 if you think about it.
If
I watch some more Bam highlights, yeah.
They were to counter. This time they spaced the floor in a way that leaves no defender near the left wing, so when Bam sets a left-hand screen, Hero's turning the corner into open space. Ihart has to pick up the ball, Bam makes the right read out of the short roll, and the ball gets moved around until it finds Bam again
you was
for
definitely
easy
getting touched
points.
in the middle, though.
With all of that said, though, I actually think it was Miami's defense that gave OKC the most issues. They started with either one of their bigs on Ihart and the other on a wing, and those two would just switch any action between them to keep a body in front of the ball. But if Ihart screened one of their guards, they'd play a more traditional coverage. Bam would step towards the ball in a high drop, as he's got the mobility to stay attached, and I actually think Shea could have hit the shovel pass here, only to instead call his own number and miss a jumper. When Ware was in the action, he'd sit back in a deeper drop, prioritizing the ball, while Bam would roam from the weak side and pick up the roller in the paint.
This is great
and
defense,
the idea behind this coverage was to take away drives and rolls, forcing the ball to run through corner shooters, to which OKC struggled to make them pay. When Ware checked out for the first time and Bam was the lone big, that's when they could fully commit to switching, taking away all potential numbers advantages and forcing the offense to play one-on-one. Because the Heat are stacked with capable wing defenders, they're able to always have someone in front of the ball that they trust. Then, of course, it's all pulled together
they do
by
got Davion
Bam's
Mitchell now.
versatility in the middle. And while switching can be a risky play against a guy like Shea, who's looking to hunt for mismatches, it's a great way to take role players out of the game, such as Isaiah Joe, for instance, who couldn't really get separation off of screens. When Ware came back in for Bam, Jay Will entered for the Thunder, and Miami's offensive game plan was to put him in every action. So OKC responded by going to a small ball lineup where they too could switch everything, and this is when they finally started to find a little bit of success. They're at their best when they're playing aggressive and forcing turnovers.
They're dangerous, bro. They run small ball, big ball.
Yeah, you can see they got a squad that's switchable.
On the other side of things, Ware isn't switchable like Bam, so by putting him in the primary action with early ball screens, Shea was finally able to find some space to attack. But Shea's attacks weren't really the problem. He did a pretty good job of applying downhill pressure and collapsing rim protection.
This man plays like me,
The problem is that role players couldn't take advantage. Because Shea's so dangerous in the middle of the floor, a big part of the Heat scheme was to send whoever was defending the wing to the ball with a late double. Shea makes the right read on a kick out to Joe, and that's the exact type of shot you want. Couple that lack of shooting with a Miami offense that continuously found ways to get points on the board, and they really took control of the game, holding a 13-point lead after 1 quarter of play. To start the second, things picked up right where they left off. Ware is going to continue to drop against pick and roll, the low man is going to continue to overplay the paint, and OKC's guys still couldn't make them pay with corner threes. Then when Bam checked in, it was right back to switching everything. Jovic is big enough to hold his own against iHeart down low, and the offense couldn't create layups. Speaking of iHeart, he spent pretty much the entire first half playing the pick and roll in a drop coverage. And Hero in particular took advantage of that space by getting to his spots with ease. It was pretty clear that iHeart was prioritizing the roll over the ball. On this one, he stays glued to Bam after a handoff, and Burks uses all of that space on the baseline to get to the rim. So while OKC couldn't get layups, it felt like that's all Miami was getting until this 3 from Larson extended their lead to 18 points. That's when Shea checked in, and the Heat actually shifted their focus to him. He was matched up with Wiggins, so they started running through Wiggins in the mid-post.
They do have Andrew Wiggins.
This one he draws 2 and kicks it out to Davion Mitchell for a wide-open 3. Next time down, they go to the exact same setup with Wiggins isolated on an open side, but this time help comes from underneath the basket, so he skips it cross-court to Bam.
Wiggins, that's not
then
your
they set up their second tactic, attacking Jay Will in pick and roll, as Hero hits Bam in the short roll, and one more pass finds Jovic for easy points.
Well, Wiggins slick went crazy last night, but it's because everybody was playing trash.
Hedge, but he also isn't a big enough interior presence to play both the ball and the roll. So by putting it in the action,
almost every
they
game
were
since
able
that
to
trade.
create all sorts of opportunities. As for OKC's offense with Shea, not much changed. Miami was still going to send either a late double or a stunt to the middle of the floor, forcing him to get rid of the ball. OKC's role guys got some good looks, they just couldn't hit. And because the defense wouldn't let Shea get inside the arc, he tried to counter with a pull-up 3, but to no avail. The Heat were on point with all of their switches.
So how did the OKC Thunder counter this?
Hero, he can't attack the mismatch before Mitchell comes with a late double. And as soon as the ball gets to Caruso, the entire defense is moving on a string to cover everyone. And again, they don't let anyone get to the rim. Really, OKC only found success in 2 ways. One was by setting a screen in the corner instead of the top of the key, so that a double can't come from the middle, leaving Shea with some more space to attack. The second was by spacing the floor in a way that removes everyone from the wings, giving Shea the
They just say, you know what, get out the way.
Yeah, give Shea the space to work.
Oh my god.
Making it an 11-point game at the break.
So for Shea
at the
carry
beginning
on
of the
his back,
third,
bro.
when the Thunder went to Shea, we saw the Heat use the same tactics. This time he's in the mid-post when a double comes from the weak side, and he makes the right decision on a skip pass, but like clockwork, they fail to take advantage and end up with a tougher 3. Then when Shea plays from up top, not only is this defender ready to double from the wing, if he attacks towards the corner, that defender is also completely committed to the ball, leaving him with nowhere to go. Again, this takes me back to what I said about spacing the floor differently. This time when Shea catches the ball up top, you're going to see the Thunder empty out the left corner. Now he has an entire side to work with, and he's able to get to a shot he likes.
That was not a good shot at all.
In a traditional setup, they'd have someone spotted up on the right wing, but they clear that wing while Dort comes to set a screen going left. And the idea is that because they know Shea's going to draw a double, by clearing that right wing, there's nobody to pick up Dort in the short roll as he gets to an easy bucket. For all of the tactical adjustments, though, probably the biggest difference maker in this third quarter was the fact that they simply started running more offense through Jada. While the Heat were hell-bent on not giving Shea the middle of the floor, that same sort of attention didn't apply to Williams. So when he looks to go to work in isolation, he can get to the nail without seeing a second body.
I like J-Dub's game, bro.
Facts, bro. He really trying to see that rim.
Bucket after tough
Get straight
bucket
to
during
it,
this
bro.
stretch,
Don't even play around with him.
13 points
God.
on 6 of 9 shooting in the third,
left.
which continued even after Shea checked out. It can't be overstated how valuable it is to get without your
filthy.
star
Oh my God! Somebody said me and Jada.
In addition to the offensive adjustments, they also made some tweaks to their defense. Instead of primarily playing in a drop, iHeart was going to hedge all ball screens involving Hero, taking away that space and forcing him into some tougher looks. Then against everyone else, he'd sit back in that drop to protect the paint, while the wings switched every action between them to always keep a body on the ball. I think they actually tightened up quite a bit and took away all of those easy dunks and layups the Heat were getting in the first half. Only Miami couldn't miss a shot from outside. Like I said, they're hedging screens involving Hero, which means that if he gets the ball out, the offense has an advantage. And they capitalized by simply making all of their threes. Then on the one possession where iHeart didn't jump out to Hero, he joined the party with a tough outside shot in zone.
That was looking like my team.
And all of those successful adjustments to the game plan, at the end of the third, they basically found themselves right where they started. After opening the third down 11,
he makes that
they were now down 10 with 12 minutes to go. It was a lot different though. Even if OKC only outscored Miami by 1 point in the third, to me it felt like they thoroughly outplayed them on both ends of the floor, and it was only a matter of time before the tides turned in their direction. To say that's exactly what happened would be an understatement, because the beginning of the fourth is when the run would take place. Of course, it started on defense, where they made the Heat look completely helpless. And what's so interesting is that Jay Will was actually on the floor. If you remember, the Heat had a lot of success putting him in the action and attacking him in space in the first half. Well, they tried to do it again in the fourth, but OKC came prepared. The problem with Jay Will as a drop defender is his athleticism sort of prevents him from covering both the ball and the roll. So they told him to forget about the ball and just drop way back to only worry about protecting the paint. Then they'd trust their point of attack defender to fight through the screen, stay glued to the ball handler, and make it so Williams never has to step away from the basket. This worked to perfection. Even when the Heat tried to get Hero into the action through off-ball movement, Dort was attached to his hip the whole time and never even let him catch the pass. Then when Hero tried to shake him with some fancy dribbling, he lost the ball for one of his 3 fourth-quarter turnovers. As the lead started to slip, the Heat brought their starting lineup back in early. But with Jay Will parked under the basket and not worried about literally anything else, they couldn't get anything going towards the rim. It got to a point where basically the only offense they could comfortably get to was a mid-range jumper from Bam, and OKC's more than okay giving that up as opposed to dealing with dunks and threes.
Oh my God,
that also enabled the point of attack defenders to get a lot more aggressive. When Hero flies off a screen, basically all Kenrich is worried about is not letting him comfortably step into a three.
Bam
so
needs
with
a three.
Jay Will holding down the paint, the offensive game
Him could be the next AD.
sort of fell apart,
or Cat.
scoring 0 points in the first
If he gets a
5
three,
minutes and
way better than
45
Cat.
seconds of the
Think so?
quarter.
Cat's averaging
Of
like
course,
25.
you can't cut into a lead
13
without getting
rebounds.
points on the
I'm
board
lying, but
yourself.
Cat's
And
nasty.
it was
I'm
time
just
for
saying
Shea
because
to
the way
take
Cat
over
moves.
the
Cat
game.
moves like he's not supposed to be
Miami
dropping those
continued to
numbers.
send those
Yeah, but
late
Cat's
doubles
fit.
at him,
The
and he
numbers
was
do
very
not lie.
patient. On
The
this
way
one,
he
he waits to
moves.
see which player Jovic is going to commit to. Then he hits Dort up top. And finally, somebody makes a three. Notice how they're spacing the floor, though. Shea's on the wing, their best shooter, Isaiah Joe's deep on the other, and that means if they send the late double, the rest of the defense will be forced into an immediate scramble. Joe attacks a closeout and
Oh my God!
to the face. A play later, the Heat decided not to send the late double, leaving Shea one-on-one, to which he, of course, responded by getting to his back triple. This next one was what really highlighted OKC's late game approach. Shea gets the switch onto Hero, and watch both Joe and Dort abandon the wings to give him the top of the key. Now the Heat can't really come with a late double, so he gets to work one-on-one and again hits a tough
NBA
shot.
players can switch that
Then
fast.
next time down the floor, Shea again gets the switch onto Hero, but now they're gonna send a late double, to which
they
Shea
sending
makes
double
the
teams
right
the whole
read,
game.
putting the
Yeah,
defense
bro,
into a
damn.
scramble and leaving Joe with a wide open three. After being being cold the entire night. The biggest difference in the fourth was that the Thunder.
I don't blame him. Shea's averaging 30, like guaranteed. So
and if role
you got to make someone else score.
Pay for putting two
I mean, he still probably got 30.
There really isn't
That's what happens until I see Joe get hot.
Seriously,
like seriously, he's a problem, bro. I don't know, bro.
A 24-0 run.
He's a problem, bro.
When Bam hit a top of the
I like Isaiah Joe, bro. I don't know.
3 and D.
But by then, the game was as good as done.
That don't get
the
you
better
millions of
team
dollars
had not only figured out and countered the opposing strategy, they had all of the momentum. So by the time the final buzzer rolled around, they had turned a 10-point deficit into a 14-point win in just 12 minutes of play.
Wow.
That third quarter from J-Dub was huge, and his play helped swing the result. It was the fourth quarter that ultimately got them the win, though, and that was due to 3 key factors. One was, of course, the defense, as they held Miami to an offensive rating of 34.8, which doesn't even sound real. Second was the play of Shea, who patiently picked apart those late doubles and called his own number in single coverage.
He loved that. Oh my god. I be spamming that too, bro.
That's the debut side. I be spamming that too.
And maybe doing that jump too.
Was the team getting
you gotta either do that or
they made 6 of 13 with 4 different players all
so you can see
hitting
what
one.
they finna do.
After looking outmatched
That
for
punch,
more than half
you have to put that
game,
foot in front.
They made some tweaks and simply flipped a switch,
because you can take off,
making it
or you
very
can go
obvious
backwards.
that the Heat simply aren't
That's
on
great
their
footwork,
level.
man. That's what we learned in that
That's
summer.
what a championship caliber team looks like. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like,
So if you pay attention to
subscribe,
Shea's
and turn my
footwork,
post notifications on to be first.
That's
on
exactly
more
what I was showing you that summer.
If you're
He does that
interested
joint
in
without
my
thinking.
more in-depth research, make sure to check out the Hoop Venue podcast and my social media profiles.
Amazing, bro.
You can find those links in the description. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you think of the Thunder. As always, hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Great video, bro.
Great video, man.
Great video. Hoop Venue. I ain't gonna lie.
Hoop Venue.
I'm subscribed.
Great video, bro.
Yeah, great video. Hey, y'all leave a like, comment, subscribe, man. Leave y'all thoughts down below. Who gonna win the championship this year, man?
Golden State. Golden State.
Golden State, man. We got this in the bag. We got Jimmy with me. Jimmy Dean.
We're unstoppable. Unstoppable.
Alright, we'll catch y'all in the next video, man. It's your boy JT.
It's your boy Mike.
Shout out, guy, man.
Shout out, guy.